Okay, we are rolling. Hello, it's Jane. How are you? Let me just see if I can get this little camera to look at me. There we go. Hi, how are you? Oh, Matey Kitty's here. Zandra's here. Okay, I've got something really cool to show you. And I just thought we'd have a last little paint party because I think all of the Joyful Gesso is going to sell out. The bundle has sold out. It sold out very, very quickly, which is wonderful. I'm so happy that so many of you were able to nab up either for the first time or grab your favorite colors or colors you haven't tried. There are single bottles left, not really enough to put in any bundles. Anyway, that's what's happening on the website. Plus, there's the new Pinkiosity. Oh, I haven't got the old one here. This is the new Pinkiosity. If you've got, wait a minute, if I put on this side, it might be a bit easier to see. The new Pinkiosity does have some of the colors of the original Pinkiosity because perfection is perfection, okay? That's just no, you can't make perfect more perfect. Well, you can, but not completely, right? So Pinkiosity 2 is different enough that it has a new name. And the original Pinkiosity sold out. It's because it's just fantastic, right? The new one, so it's got some new pinks and it has a new metallic pink. So let's use that today because this goes very well with the Joyful Gesso. I've also got a great big journal here that I haven't shown you before. Warning, this is my one that I take to life drawing, and there's a little bit of bodies in it because, you know, we humans have bodies under our clothes, and that is what we are drawing at life drawing. So I could have gone to life drawing this morning, but I went with Kim to an evening one instead. We're blessed in this region to have lots of different life drawing around. So plus the doggy drawing that I told you about last week. Hey Margaret, hey Debbie, how you going? So we've got, I could take my name off for a start, so that we'll take my little name and that business off. So I've got this amazing journal here, and the reason I've pulled this out for our paint party is because I was using this last night to change some of the pages, and it's just so ideal. So this big journal that I've got here, I might have to, I'll just click, no, I don't want that one. I want to make that one go away. Okay. So this big area here, I'm just going to see if I can actually zoom back out. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, that's pretty good. This is quite a big journal. This journal, I either got it in Mexico years ago, or I got it when I was like 17 or something, 18 years old, just the other day. And it's got all of this gorgeous handmade paper in it. And I've had it in my life either way for a long time. I have a feeling I found it in Mexico. The paper is like the handmade papers that you get in Mexico. And it's just gathered up into this big loose journal. It's got a suede cover and beautiful bindings on it. And it's just been around for a long time, too gorgeous to use. But also this paper is super absorbent. It's like kitchen towel, you know, that kitchen, really thick version of that. But it's good for things like crayons, like marzipan twists and power pastels, aqua pastels. the rainbow pencil. My rainbow pencil is amazing on this. I'll show you it in a minute. And acrylic paint. So sometimes with less than desirable paper in terms of mixed media, it might not be great for watercolor because it's just so absorbent. If you put an alcohol marker or any form of marker on this, it would just drain it dry within seconds. It would just suck the juice right out of it. But for, like all things, you can always bend things to your will. So I've used crayons in here. Something that I've got that I'm working on. This is not too much nudity, isn't it? You can cope with a bottom or two, can't you? Hey Kim, how you going? Yes, Kim is my partner in crime, my drawing, life drawing partner in crime. So we've got, so live drawing, you've got a live model, a person, they drop their kit and they do wonderful poses for you in their nudie. And I know it might sound a bit weird, or you might think, oh, I could never do that. I would be too embarrassed for the person. The person's not embarrassed. The person is, they are giving us a gift of their time, of their beautiful humanness. Very often they are not perfect at all. They are not supermodels, they're actual, just real men and women who are kindly posing for us. Very often they are artists themselves, and you know, sometimes you create something that you like, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And the great thing about it for me is that whatever is happening, there are people moving, singing, humming, whistling. They're being annoying, they're wiggling. I am one of these annoying people as well. I'm not saying that I am not one of the annoying people. And all of that's happening around you, plus you're trying to draw something really difficult, the human body. There's no lines, like graphic lines on a nude body. Like with clothes, you know, you've got a hard line here, but on a nude body, you've just got, well, I suppose I do have a few hard lines there, wrinkly things. But, you know, its skin is very soft and pliable, and we can bend the body in all sorts of strange ways. And it's just a great challenge, and there's foreshortening and perspective happening and all sorts of crazy things. So I use it as an opportunity to just really have a wonderful time and work through any annoyances that I have. And I think it makes me a stronger artist in many, many ways. And one of them is just drawing with other people in the room, just being and staying present, staying with the model and keeping going. And then you can get some really magic things to start happening. So I love her. And this here I did not like, and I fixed it up with Joyful Gessoh because this pretty much matches the paper. So because there were 30 colours in all of these things. And the reason Joyful Gessoh is on its last little bottles is because the company that made them doesn't exist anymore. So, and of course, am I working on something to replace them? Of course. Will it be even better? Yes. I don't know. It only has to be this good, and I will be very, very happy. Thank you very much. Because this is a primer and a paint in one. It's a remarkably ultra matte paint. So that's why this is so good, because obviously this paper is very matte. I want something that I can create on top of. I can do watercolor on top of. I can do whatever I want. The paper no longer will dictate to me. But also I'm able to, I use this to cover up a lot of mess that was under here, a lot of loose lines. I didn't like the way this particular model posed every pose with her arm behind her back, and it looked weird. It still looks weird to me. And I really love this journal. The journal's in its infancy at the moment. I usually just have a pose per page, which is unusual for me. Usually I've got multiple figures on the page and all sorts of other things happening. And Yes, oh, and Zandra actually and Debbie, they actually came to dynamic drawing as well, which is live drawing as well. And they're saying that they weren't embarrassed at all, adored the confidence, and Zandra's saying she loved it, even though she'd never done it either. It's wonderful. It's kind of fun, especially when you finish. But you get to draw things that you thought, oh, well, I'd never draw that pose. So I love this. And yes, I know she's got her nudies on, but it's just a drawing. It's just crayon on a piece of paper of something that we've all got under our clothes. So I hope you can cope. And then in one of them, we had two models. The lady who runs, the gorgeous Kathy who runs Sketch Appeal, she joined the model and they did a 50-minute pose of the two figures. They were chit-chatting and laughing and just having wonderful fun because they're friends, and we got to draw a very complex position. And would I draw this again in my just art? Probably not. But I managed to do it then, and it's great for your confidence. Every time, it's like going to doggy drawing. I have drawn my dogs, but every time you challenge yourself to something new, it's good for you, right? So I'm playing with the scale of things. I've got all the gorgeous colours already happening. If you wanted to create something like this, I've got journals that I've created like this that I've put a different colour of Joyful Gessoh, or this paint in particular is just so good, or any of my Jane Davenport paints, because they're always matte, which means you can put your crayon on, you can put your watercolour on, you can do LayerCake, whatever. The idea of this paint is you put it on and then you don't ever have to think about it again. It doesn't cause any problems. A lot of acrylics have a satin or a semi-gloss, some even are very glossy, and that's great if you're just working on acrylic, or maybe you're going to do a top coat of oil paint at the end or something. This will do all of that, but then you can't do watercolor and you can't do collaging and other things, pastel. This paint, you can do all of that. You've got it doesn't boss you around. You are the boss of that paint. It's great. This is so neon in real life. It's so interesting how cameras just really can't pick that up. Hi Penny, how you going? So I'm just doing a little walkthrough, and just to show you I've got a whole thing happening in the background about instant cameras. I found my box of little instant cameras and they all defunct, and I haven't used them for a long time, must be honest. And some of the paint's really old. Anyway, some of the ink came out and it was jet black. Anyway, so it plopped on there. But I love her. Look at this. What does it say? Such dexterously clever fingers, which is the way I was watching a documentary and someone described one of my favourite artists. Painterly fingers. Actually, no, it was Holbein, who I don't really know that much about. I just know it more as a paint brand, although his paintings are exceptionally famous. Anyway, I'm getting up to a point here. So I've used paint here. I've used paint here because I like to be able to flip through a journal and not have pages annoy me. And also YouTube censorship. She's actually wearing clothing on here. Our model this week, when we turned up, she came in costume. She came as the permission pig. It was very strange. It was discombobulating. She had dyed her eyebrows pink. She had pink hair. Why I've drawn this on green, I don't know. This is just what happened. Wonderful model. And a professional life drawing model who could do incredible poses and hold them. And oh, it was inspiring. But the teacher, the lesson leader, she had to tell everyone off to say who is drawing the pig nose, and no one was, maybe 2 people out of 30 or however many were there. And she demanded that we all draw the pig nose. And anyway, I did it. See, this was me not, she was wearing a pig nose. a rubber pig nose glued on her face. And I didn't want to draw it because it was weird and it wasn't attractive actually at all. Especially because the girl was so attractive. Anyway, and beautiful to draw, attractive in terms of drawing, right? And anyway, so I was one of the many people who was not drawing the nose. So I set myself the challenge to draw the nose. And this is okay. This is weird. I've written permission pig, unapologetically messy. So give yourself permission. And there was a big drawing of it here and I hated it. Hate's a strong word for me to use about art, but I really did. So I used this. And now I've actually made the paper about 10 times better because I can use whatever media I like on it. The other wonderful thing that I have that is on, especially because again, it's its last little bits, is the watercolor gesso. I didn't bring any up here. I did a combination of the amazing Arabesque. So if you're watching this in the future, you won't be able to get some of these things, but if you're watching it now, you can. And there'll be something else, okay? At some point. The Arabesque brushes. So in my brush ballet, these are the brushes that come in the beautiful roll. Oh, I don't have all of my sets here. Do I? Oh, yes, I do. I will have an example of each one. These are both watercolor brushes. You can use them with acrylic, but you will wreck the brushes eventually. The Arabesque, so this is the on point set and the pirouette set. So this is all different tips. This is all pointy brushes, hence the names. Because these ones you dance around, pirouette, pirouette, pirouette. These ones are arabesquing because it makes you want to jump with joy. And this is a golden tackle. There's all Japanese nylon, very, very, very high quality, made by an excellent brush maker. And this is for acrylic, hence the A and Arabesque, to remind you, because it's got a bit more pushing power and acrylic paint likes to be bossed around a little bit. You put it where you want it, you brush it on. It's not, unless you add lots of water to it or other things to it, it's not going to go off and do its own thing. It's just going to do what you tell it to do. That's the beauty of it. But it does need a little bit of a firmer hand, a firmer brush. Whereas watercolor is a collaboration between you and the watercolor. LayerCake's a little bit like that too. It can be pushed around like acrylic, but it can also, you know, want to do la-di-das. So la-di-da material, paint supplies, like watercolors, they don't want to be pushed around. They just want suggestions of where they should go and play. And I'm talking about watercolors like this, like this, like this. Well, let's just get them all out, shall we, Jane? Why not? Here we go. So we've got all of these gorgeous things, but these are like suggestions. They don't want to be told what to. Oh, I might leave these out, quite frankly. And I'll leave this out too. And you've probably already got one of these, but this is Golf Pants. PINKIOSITY, Golf Pants, Frida. These are all layer cakes. This has got the wrong lid on it, but this is Cosmos and this is Lagunatic. And you can see they've all the new packaging of the layer cakes have illustrations on them. Sometimes, what's going on here? Sometimes we've got colour ones, and these ones I didn't. I'm always playing around with things. That's the pot of gold with all the different golds, and then we've got the PINKIOSITY. This is Frida here. She's got her special. She's like a special edition. Cosmos. I think my mum has got the wrong. She took one of the Lagunatics, and I think she's got the Cosmos cover on it. So Liz, if you've got one that says Cosmos but it's really Lagunatic, I've got the other cover. We need to swap covers. So Golf Pants has, but it's exactly the same. This is not a new one, but if you need to replace yours, it'll have the cute little golfing girl on it. But Pinkiosity, if you've got the first Pinkiosity, you adore it. This one is a little bit different. It's got some colours are the same, but there are new colours in here. So that's why it's Pinkiosity 2. And one of the colours is Orchid, hence there being orchids on the front. Ballerina, Tutu March, Bougainvillea, Dragon Fruit, Orchid, and Pretty Flamingo. So yes, I've got my acrylic here covering up. Now I've put the acrylic on top of crayon, and that is always going to come off, but only if you scratch at it like I did there. I might need a couple of coats to get it to cover, but it's got opacity, so it will do it, okay? It's always something you can play with. Now, let's recreate something over the top of this. Oh, I wish that person would stop texting me. Sorry, it's just something or other, and I don't know how to put my phone on silent. It's not like you don't just click it anymore. It's some smarty pants at Apple's decided to make it as difficult as possible to do everything. Okay, hopefully, because I've looked at the message, that it will stop dingling at me. Let's forget about that. And let's draw. So I've got one of, this is the Spectrum pencil here. And underneath in the description box, you'll see links to Pinkiosity, to just all the things I thought I might bring out in the paint party, but who knows? We don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know when I'm going to be drawing it. But all I know is that this is heaven on a stick. And you can just keep it straight, or you can roll it and you'll get rainbow. Can you see there's rainbow? I don't know if the little one will be able to focus that. But see how there's rainbow in there? But it's very highly pigmented. So it's wonderful. And the beauty of this magic creature is it does, when you add other things, it does kind of just disappear. I don't know why. It's just a magicness. A magicness. I love the combination of the yellow with that bit of orange. So on the background here, we don't have this colour anymore. It's long gone, but this is optimistic orange. So if you manage to, but you can mix your own colour, colours of course. And this is Laughing Lemon. Just a beautiful creature. And I've got Thrilling Pink here as well. And I noticed, sounding a little bit thick, it's still fine. It's moving in the jar. But if you notice that if you've had paint that's sitting for a while, or especially if you've had it in too much sunlight, just add a few little drops of matte medium, clear matte medium, or a little bit of distilled water, and you're just adding a little bit of juice. Somehow it's just become a bit dehydrated, and we just want to add a bit more hydration. I wonder if I added like hot pink over here, what that would look like. Let's just see. Oh, I need to give her a bit more of a shake, but we'll just paint her on, she'll be fine. And then I'm giving myself a little bit more opportunity just to create something else on here. Now, what's going to be amazing, well, amazing, I don't know if that's the word, but cool, is that this is darker than this, the pink. The pink is going to come forward and hit your eyes first because, you know, it's pink, and that's just how pink works, especially if it's a little bit neon like this. Well, neon, can't be a little bit neon. You're either neon or you're not, and it is neon. Yes, so that is going to come forward and she's going to go into the background. So it'll be interesting. So then I've set myself up an interesting issue with this. It's going to make her look very flat, I think, is what will end up happening. And I'm using this pink, bright pink, to try and... Come on, friend. There we go. I'm going to be using this neon. Oh, I don't want you in there. You come out here. I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, hello, little Poppy. I've got a little chihuahua sitting by my feet, getting himself comfortable. Oh, I might leave it like that. Oh, I think what I was trying to say is I've got this is a lighter colour, so for it to have any coverage on, you know, these darker colours, just shows you how opaque they are, which is that gesso-like quality, because gesso has opacity. It's not completely opaque, but it has opacity. And gesso, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gesso, is an acrylic paint basically, but it's just got extra stuff in it that makes it much matter. It makes it sit on the, if you've got canvas fabric, it gives you a surface that your other acrylics can go on top of, that can slide around and move and do painterly things rather than just getting soaked into the canvas. So it's a primer. So when I say Joyful Gessoh is a primer and paint in one, it has the qualities of gesso, but it also has the qualities of acrylic paint. It is an acrylic paint, but an ultra matte acrylic paint. So yes, now she's sort of Josephine Baker vibes is what I'm getting. I might add a little bit of this pink in here. It's round about where her cheeks are going to be. So I've got a little bit of this pink talking to a little bit of this over here. Pages don't have to talk. They can just be separate conversations. But in a journal, I think it's fun to think about things as being related to each other. Carol says, I love this colour. I'm always using it. It's gorgeous. So that was Thrilling Pink. But I could also use a little bit of LayerCake. Why not? Let's get a bit of pinkiosity happening. Oh, yum. Okay, let's just do this. Oh, I love pink and yellow together. Yes, and I can feel the difference where here I am on the gesso, and then I will be going over onto the paper. And I could, oh, I need to let that dry a little bit, but I can enhance. Oh, so this is going into this very absorbent paper. So I can just let that, well, I'll let that dry because I don't really want acrylic in the nice brush, to be honest. But I could bring that over. Or do we just have separate, I think we'll have separate conversations here. But it's going to behave differently on the paper as to on acrylic onto a different base. And then if you've got the watercolor gesso, then that has different qualities as well. It's even better for watercolor and water media, but it doesn't come in all of the colors. I didn't get to that. Maybe eventually we would have had all the colors. So I've sort of got her starting to take shape there. Oh, and sometimes the people aren't as perky as I've drawn them. This is just my version of them. You know, I'm drawing what I'm feeling and what I think I'm seeing, not necessarily what I'm actually seeing. Sometimes it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I want to get it exactly because I think, oh, I might use that pose again for something else. Now these ears are a little bit lopsided, so I need to decide, am I keeping the ears or am I changing the angle of her chin? So I think I might not have her so tilted. Kind of like the ears. So if her ears are here, her chin is going, and they're equal, her chin really is here. Now these things will make a really big difference when I'm lining up the rest of the face. If I don't get the chin in the center of the chin, I'm going to start drawing the face and who knows what's going to happen. Everything will be out of kilter and it'll be disastrous. So I'm going to pretend I can't see this. Oh, look, and it's scratching off some of the paint over that crayon that I've got underneath. Because you've got oils and waxes and acrylics over anything with oils in it is not going to stick because stuff doesn't stick to oil. Which is why oil paints, they're always the last layer because an oil pastels are hard to work over the top of. Not impossible, but things will flake off, paint will fall off it eventually. Or certainly scratch off it. But if it's playing around in a journal and it's experimental and whatever, use whatever you like, that's what I say. Okay, I don't want to get too definitive here. I want to... Oh, I love the sound of a good pencil on the lovely Gesso. I think I've already banana faced a bit. Here's the middle of her head. Okay, I need to change the middle of her head up here as well. Or we'll just get into all sorts of trouble. All sorts of trouble. And in my mind's eye, I'm just picturing the extraordinary eyebrows that our model had. So as well as her little pig nose, she had the most beautiful fingers and fingernails. She had some sort of matte polish or matte, like false fingernails. They were amazing. And she had beautiful eyebrows that she had dyed or coloured pink as part of her character to be drawn. See what a lovely, lively line the rainbow pencil gives us. It's very cool, right? I like it. Clavicles, muscles in the neck, we know about those. And then I might just define a little bit of the sculptural hair, and we might say there's a sculptural hair coming up like so, to give a little bit of definition. The hair must be coming in behind her ear because we can see her ears. I could always clip the top of them off, but the hair is being tucked behind the ear because the ears are visible. Oh, this pencil. Okay. Oh. And in that little bundle with the brushes, the watercolor gesso, I did the palette pad as well, because this is brilliant for acrylic paint. And even where this has dried up, it's kind of cool to keep your palettes. So there's two prints in here. There's the little face and there's a colour wheel, and it's designed so that you can hold it like so if you're standing up and painting as well. But you can just pull these out. But because it's this special paper, you can, after you've used it, you could actually just clean it off and just keep using it fresh if you wanted to. I might add a little bit of orange paint and a little bit of white gesso on here. Because I might, no, not orange, maybe I need a bit more yellow too. Well, let's see, this is a very unusual palette for me, but we're just, you know, having fun, right? I could also use my layer cake. I can also use, you know, this as a palette for that too. Debbie. This is fun. Okay. I might use this to, and if I add a little bit of this blue on here, these are complementary colours, and a little touch of the blue might be good too. And the reason I've done that is I was just playing around with this before, and I know I've got hardly any paint down there. You can add water to paint, just distilled water, because if you add water that's got any biological things, you'll end up with stinky paint. So as soon as I mix orange and the blue, I'm going to start greying it off. It's going to go into a tan. It's almost going to go into a brown, depending on the colours. Let's have a look. And I will end up with a sort of a skin tone. But it's a really lovely, weird mix of colours when you mix these two. So I can use these for a little bit of shading. And, I don't know, just drag a bit of that blue in there too. Oh, I'm using my watercolour brush. Oh, well. I know someone who has an art supply store. I'll just wash it very well. Isn't that a lovely, weird grade off neutral? I think so anyway. I did quite enjoy painting with that brush. Do you know what? I'm just going to treat myself, and I already started with the acrylic with my watercolour brush, so I'm just going to keep going with it. I might add a bit of white to that and make this highlight. And this here when we get into the clavicle. And because this is non-toxic, I just sometimes used to use my fingers, my hands, my feet to rub them all in. Oh, she's looking at us, I think, today. That's a bit unusual. And I might mix this and a bit of white. Just to create a little bit of shadows here and there. And I'm just using my Joyful Gessoh as a paint. I can even set this up as a glaze so I can make it less opaque if I want to, by adding a little bit of the collage medium, which is just a clear, it's just paint without any paint in it, without any colour in it rather. In fact, I might, don't really want to put acrylic in my palette here, but I might just take out a bit of this gorgeous dragon fruit. I might, oh, she went for a roll. Well, seeing as I've got the texture on there, I wonder what will happen if I roll it around. Oh yeah. Just wanted to grab a bit of that pink there as well. Because this is watercolour on acrylic too, we'll get, I can add water to it and move it. The acrylic you can't. The acrylic, if you pop it down, that's that. But with the LayerCake or any watercolour-y type of things, water solubles, you've got a little bit of playroom, wiggle room, which is, you know, if you're in the mood for that, that's good too. So I might use this as a little tint by adding lots of water to it. I don't know if neon really thinks of itself as just a tinting colour, but we can do what we want. See now, I think that needs to be the lighter pink up there, the lemon. So we've got a differentiation. Just bring that hairline in a bit more. See how I started doing that scrumbling? That's tough on brushes, you know, if you've got acrylic in there as well. So that's why. The way you paint with watercolour is different to acrylic. So there's a few reasons why you usually have acrylic brushes and your watercolour brushes. Good watercolour brushes like these, if you look after them, you just about have them for the whole of your life. Just don't leave them in water. That will end a brush's life by years. If you just leave it in there, because the wood, you know, eventually, and it melts the glue eventually, it dissolves the glue. Now this was watercolour, so I can shape it. But the blue that's underneath will stay, so we'll make that into purple by mixing the two. Might get a little bit of golf pants here too. My goodness, what a strange contraption. I'm going to let these two flamingo. So we get a little bit of a darker. Oh, yum. Oh, this is very interesting. Nothing to do with life drawing or anything else, really. It's just paint party. That's what it's got to do with. Paint party. Should we give her some actual eyeballs? We could. I think these would be the right scale. Hang on, I just wanted to try something super crazy. These are washi tape eyes that I have in my store that I've drawn and created. They're basically stickers. Is that paint dry? Yes. We can give her some instant eyes. A roll of 100 eyes ready to cut out, and we don't have to cut them out, they're already cut out. Even with their false eyelashes there. But the fun thing about them is you could just have a set of eyes just to play around with. Oh, I've lifted off some of the paint. Just to play around with the shape of the eyes. Even if they're not exactly the right scale, just to, you know, give you a little idea of how different the face looks with the angle of the eye. See how she looks sadder when they're tilted that way? It's got a different look if they're tilted. Well, that's a bit extreme, but, you know. So's all this. So, you know. But isn't that the sort of fun, right? Anyway, I'm just going to pop them in there. There'll just be eyes watching from the galleries. And I might go in with a bit of paint. Now this, where this has, this is where it's kind of delicate, where paint is over that ugly drawing that I had underneath it somewhere. Once the paint is dry too, you can keep drawing on it. I'm not patient enough to wait, so we'll just keep drawing. But do we want her looking at us? I'm not sure. Oh, why not? What's wrong? Are you... Oh, they're snoring. The little dogs are down there snoring. I'm dealing with things that aren't quite dry down there. Oh, that was a strange sentence. Let's give her some pupils so she can see out into the world. And one of the joys of pencil on acrylic, once the acrylic's dry, of course, you can erase a little. But I have to be a bit careful because wherever it's going to be attached. Or I could come over and paint on that. My pencil went a bit mad there. What about turquoise eyes? I might go watercolors. Let's go golf pants. Isn't this gorgeous? So the golf pants colours are named after 80s pastels, like Caddyshack. Think Caddyshack golf clothes. You've got buggy, four, caddy, the club, the green, and sand trap. So they're like a pastel craziness. Oh, let's use this as our highlight. Oh yes. Might even use that as my highlight. I was thinking yellow, but no. This is going to be better in here. And okay, up here, up here. And for white, I've got a little bit of white gesso there, but I might grab, might go paint pen. Just adding a bit of largeness here and there. But let's grab a bit of this white here. Well, if I talked about what I was going to be drawing, oh, I want to use that, but I don't need to sharpen it. I would not have thought I was drawing a neon lady, but that's what's happened, and there you go. Well, why wouldn't I draw a neon lady? I've got plenty of them in this journal, actually. This is the Fluffy White Clouds pastel pencil. And I can erase this if I want to, if it's not what I want. It's fabulous over the acrylic paint. I can hold it very, very loosely and still got a fair bit of control. I really want to wait for things to be dry so it can stick to the paint at hand. I'm going to go gold first and then I'll go into my darker colours for this. I'm not sure what would be my darkest darks. If I have black on top of this, that's going to be quite a lot. Gold eyebrows, why not? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, Zandra's saying she can't wait to get the new pinks. Well, that'll just add a little bit of loveliness to everything I touch. I mean, pink is just a magic colour, isn't it? I feel bad for people who deny themselves the joy of pink. You know, because sometimes people think pink is for girls. And it's not, it's just red with white added into it. It's just such a gorgeous colour. I don't know why it is the colour of femininity though. It is though, that is true. It always has been too, but why? Why? Because I suppose we have pink cheeks and pink parts on, you know, parts of our bodies, but so do all people. Now, what I've grabbed here, this is the DIY paint pen, and it's my original paint pens. I don't know if I've got a pinpoint paint pen here. It'd be a bit weird if I don't, but I might not. It's because I've got these ones here. Anyway, so, oh, no, there she is. This is one of my pinpoint paint pens. So it's a hard but very smooth nylon nib, and the paint goes down the outside on little grooves. Just the way it works is a little bit different. So it's great, and because it's very airtight, it's great for acrylic paint. So I do have Storytime ink, which is a paint pen ink, and you can buy it to refill or mix your own colours. And this is the pinpoint paint pen. It comes empty, and you can put whatever ink basically you like in it. I've got some of my Creative Juice in here, which are a very, very vibrant watercolor type ink. So really gorgeous colours, and you can use these. Dr. Ink is another one that you can use like this, but this has got a different type of nib. So it works a little bit differently. You can pump it and get more ink to flow through too, and get a little bit of a gushing, if you would like. Because that's what will happen. You'll get more ink to flow. It won't be a flood or a tsunami, but it'll be a little, you can get a little gushant. So the colour that I'm using here is Muse Lilac. And I just want something with a little bit of depth to define the eyes a little, but not too dark to make things too graphic at this point. I just want some definition without darkness. I can always build up to that. But the darkest darks on the face, the nostrils, in between the lips. That's where I've pumped it a little bit to get a bit more ink to come out. So this is quite a nice muted lilac. Muse Lilac. I think we've got a bit of a Venus squint going on, which is eyes that aren't quite looking in the same direction. But let's get a bit of depth in there as well. I'm going to go in with Brilliant Blue. I think that'll do it. Ooh, where is a little brush? Oh, that one's big. I had a bit of a tough time. I think I'll give that some love and care. So this is Brilliant Blue. So there's 24 colours in the Creative Juice. And then they come with stickers, and I've put the stickers on each of the pens that I've put a bit of ink in so that I can tell what I've got in there, because if you don't label things, you will get very lost very quickly. Oh, let's use this to define some little Nostradamuses. Oh, this is a nice colour for portraits, little face painting. And you can hear it, that scratchy sound. That's because it doesn't have flex in it. The nib doesn't have flex, so it's hitting all of the texture of this paper and the gesso. It doesn't damage it, but you might get some spitting. Oh, I've got a bit of excess, I can do that. And it's just sort of dissipating into the gesso a little bit. Still haven't got the angle of her chin happening quite right there, but we'll get there eventually. Gosh, when I look on the screen, it's so... Oh, okay, that needs to come over a bit more. Yeah, this side is wider than this side of the whole face. Significantly so. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, because I'm using fluid, I haven't gone in with super deep colours, I can make little changes. I can take what I've learnt in life drawing. It's all forgiven in a sketch. We're just sketching here, little sketchy lines. So the ear started here, and I've been gradually moving it over and over and over. I don't want it to become too much. So that's going to be the point of her chin there. This is the turn of her face here at the neck. Okay, so yes, but look at the distance from there to there. It's quite different if I'm measuring such things. Yes. Oh, okay. And this has gone up way higher. Huh. Anyway, this will just become shading, and I can just bring the eye back down. Why is it so uneven? Oh, very fascinating. I suppose the turn of her jaw is actually down there. There's all sorts of little things I can do to drag the eye. Might even need to take a break from this, and I would come back with fresh eyes, because I think I'm getting sort of stuck in weeds. So just, if you're having trouble with something, just move away from it if you need to, and let fresh eyes arrive back again. Where's my little Pinkiosity? Okay, I'm going to let her dry and breathe, because there's something real funky going on here, and I know that it's going. I might even need to move her eye out, or do I just say, yeah, all of this other stuff that's happening here, you know, do I let it, do I try and fix it, or do I just, who cares? The only one who cares is me. So is it something I want to play around with? Or also, if you say to yourself, this is a learning piece, it's just a learning piece, like everything in this sketchbook, because it's all life drawing. We're not talking about masterpieces, because you're talking about things that were drawn in 3, 4, 5 minutes. That can help make you feel about things a little bit differently too. Let's get this hairline up here a little bit. Sorry about the doggets. Bam. Bam. Okay, so that needed to come up. toot, toot. Oh, well, this is quite fun, really. Okay. Just doing some little measurements. And then getting something that's a bit more opaque, like La La La. Bring that out over there. Get this little orchid. Bring her over there. Oh, this colour. Good Lord. It is glorious. Oh, and let's get the metallic happening. So this is a metallic pink. Oh, I might add a bit of that to the lip actually. Oh, very nice. And in the eyes. Just give a bit of structure to this head so it's not so ovalish. Interesting. Now I'm going to attempt something. Let's see what happens. Oh no, that won't work. I'd have to take that right off the whole thing. Okay. Wait a minute, if I take that off there and put that there. Okay, I was going to try and do a little walk around with my, do a little close up for you, but I have to pull cords out and that's never a good idea. And Lightroom, but isn't this cute? So I probably should use up the rest of that paint before it all dries off because the acrylic, as you know, it's quite a cute little thing there. So craziness. We've got a lot going on, and you can't see the neon, the true neon. Photography finds it hard. What we can see with our eyes is sometimes a little bit different. Cool, right? And like, this is cute. Okay, now I'm going to just pop myself here. Hello. And we can have a little talk. I can have a squint at the screen. Oh, it was my birthday this week and I treated myself to a new t-shirt. This is my Mermaid Racing t-shirt. How does it go there? Mermaid Racing. It's got all these little badges on it. So cool. Right, now let me have a little look through the commenters. Where are we? Here we go. Oh, thank you. Happy birthday wishes. Very nice. Yeah, that rainbow pencil's just so good. And not all rainbow pencils are equal. So my first big one is wonderful too, but it's not as pigmented as this one. This one is a magical pencil. So that's what I've used here to build this up. And actually, I was really surprised with how beautifully it drew on this paper, because this paper is very soft. If you've ever bought a beautiful leather-bound journal that's handmade in India, Usually like it's got embossed. If you've been at markets or sort of indie, sort of hippie stores, that's where you usually will find them. The paper is just so absorbent. It's like towel, kitchen towel. Yes, so not an ideal art surface, and horrible for coloured pencils and things too. You sort of go through it and it's soft and doughy. But this is just how I find things. But if you, but this is not like that. So I'll test my other Mexican papers to see if they've got that. Maybe they've got something different, like they're made from something different. So it's just a little bit different. Okay, now let me have a look at question. Hey Gary, how you going, doll? Caruso, my art is my full-time job. Definitely. Yes, that's all I've done for the past I don't know, long time. Vampire years, long time. Yes, birthday girl. Yeah, so art is my full-time job. You can definitely be a full-time artist. It just depends on how hard you want to work and whether your style is something that appeals to people. That can be a bit of luck, I think. Plenty of artists were amazing artists and recognised after they had been on the planet. But there's lots of ways to have art, and you don't have to be an artist at selling paintings in a gallery. There's all sorts of different ways that you can have art. Also, you don't have to, the end goal of being an artist doesn't have to be just that thing. You can use art in all sorts of different ways, and you can just enjoy it for the fabulousness that it is, and being creative is a different thing. So the title artist is a very broad one, I think. Carissa says, I love your art size, but I don't have a way of ordering them. You don't have the internet? Because you can just order it on the internet, just like you can with everything else. We don't have our things on Amazon or other platforms because we just don't need to. And if I do it in any other way other than how we're doing it, I'm just going to have to shut the door. Just excuse me a second. Sorry. Yes, to be on Amazon, it costs a lot of money to be on any of these things or to distribute things in any way. And so we just choose to work directly, and that works brilliantly for us. But yes, if you've got the internet, you can order things. We send all over the world. The only countries that we don't send to is countries that are not accepting mail from the bulk of other countries. And if a country is in war times or something like that, or like Canada Post had a lot of strikes at one point, but that's all over now. That's usually that's unusual circumstances. But sometimes there are countries where people might be. I know that people ordering things to Indonesia, to Bali, were always, it was a little bit hit or miss whether you received your packages. But I don't know if that was a couple of years ago too. So usually the vast majority of things, it's so reliable. It's a modern miracle. All of the way the postal systems work all around the world, it's incredible. So for us to, for our art supplies, because I don't have distributors, agents, I'm not doing all the big shows in Europe and in America and and having all these other levels of people involved in what I do. For a start, I have complete freedom, which is fantastic. And the other thing is all those other people don't need to be making a living off what I do. So our prices for the pigment loads and all of that's why they're amazing. So I know sometimes people will say, I love it, but it's expensive. It is if you compare it to rubbish. But for what the pigment loads and the innovativeness and the colors and the customization and the way everything all works together, it's remarkable what Angus and I do. I'll include him in it because he's part of all of the decisions. And yeah, this is why my art supplies are a bit weird, a bit unusual. I'm just, ooh, oh, that looks quite nice actually. Oh, I'm on top of my artwork. Maybe I should move myself across. I might do that. I can move myself across the page here. 1 second. Sorry. I just have to. I'm looking on another whole screen and I'm grabbing myself and now I am floating like Glinda in The Wizard of Oz across the page. This is why we've got such weird things happening, like the pebble pigments in the starfish and shells and flowers shapes. Like, why have pigments in just a normal old shape? Why not have craziness? And the layer cakes and, you know, the gorgeously coloured brush ballet, just whatever, everything that I do. It's all a little bit fanciful because I loved Richard Scarry as a child and I think that has influenced me completely. Because why wouldn't a worm, an earthworm, drive around in his apple-shaped car? Why wouldn't the baker have a croissant-shaped car and a bun-shaped bakery? It's this level of design that I witnessed as a child in picture books that I think I'm trying to emulate. You know, design's very important. Okay. Yes, so yeah, there's really no excuses not to have. It's just budget constraints, that's all. And that's a big constraint, you know, that's of course, I'm completely joking. Yes, there are tariffs on new products, yes. And I can't do anything about that, but there's always tariffs on things. So, you know, our governments like our money. So there's always taxes, there's always duties, and there's always customs. Like there's always postage. It's there. Whether or not you can see it is a different thing, but it is always there because it's just a cost. It's a cost of it, of things. So yes, there are still way cheaper, but even if I had things in a store or on Amazon or whatever, they're still going to be, the customs and the duties are going to be, they're just going to be more. They're going to be, so I'm not sure what's going to be happening in America. No one really knows, or when changes will come into effect. And how they're going to come into effect, because I think it's still a very fluid and fluctuating situation. Completely out of my control, of course. But it'll just be, it's like in Australia, if you order something and the parcel's over a certain amount, then you have to pay, you get a message that you've got to pay a little bit of extra, just depending on what it is, coming into the country. So America is removing it's called de minimis, their de minimis thing. It's to stop all of the massive influx of small packages from like AliExpress, Shein, what's the other big one? Temu and all of those, Wish, Amazon itself, all of them. And I think it might be it's probably to protect local businesses, but it's really probably just to protect Amazon, if we're all honest, because the biggest billionaires have the biggest influence. That's just the way the world works. So who knows? They're kind of all political kind of things, but yeah, I think there will be changes for sure. No one knows when or how, but yeah, I don't think they've kicked it in for the rest of the world other than China at the moment. So we'll all wait and see what happens. I just broke my nail. Don't you hate it when you do that? Yes. Jessica said when I was working, I had the things in Michael's. Yes, I know everyone just and you've got the coupons and all that stuff with Michael's. Yes, but I like what I'm doing now. Yes. And Jessica, that's exactly what you're buying from. Yes, it's a small, that's just the decision. Oh, look at me, I'm sitting on some legs. Can I pose and make myself look like I'm bending? Oh, I can't do the camera right. There, now I've got little blue legs, I'm squatting down. There we go. Oh yes, Sandra, have a look. Well, even if you can't find a journal like this, you could always make one and you could just buy the paper. I wouldn't, of course you can do that. Of course you can do that, but I would paint the paper. You've got all the colours. I would paint normal paper or nice thick watercolor papers or card or something, and then create on top of the Joyful Gesso colours. You'll get a better result and be able to use more different art supplies. But the idea of it is just joyful and gorgeous. And all the rough edges, yes. So if you can find one, I even had a look on the internet to see if I could find such a thing. I've never seen such a thing as this ever again. The only one I've seen is the one I have. But you could make one, absolutely. I've even got some turquoise leather that I think I chopped it up for something. But you can buy leather, and even, this is a suede. You could just make one yourself out of gorgeous big watercolor paper, whatever you like. Okay. Sorry about the dogs. So, hey, guys, shush. I won't do anything. Okay. Yes, and then you get the free shipping that we have. Yay! Yes. Okay, my friends. Well, I am going to love you and leave you. Don't forget you've got all of those specials there, and yes, they do get sent, and we pack everything with love and care and lovely packaging, so that you can reuse in your art, all that fun stuff. But yes, all around the world we send all the time. I'm just having a look. Sorry, because I'll probably be doing this at you, but I've got the questions right here next to the camera. Oh, yum, yum, yum. I'm just having a quick scoot through the comments, see if I can see any questions that jump out in amongst all of the beautiful positivities and all of that. Okay, my friends, well, thank you for joining me, and go and do some joyfully unpolished art and have some fun. If you ever see a life drawing class, be brave and go and give it a whirl. And it's only a nude body, and the person is there because they want to be, and you can draw sometimes I have like doctor sketches, which has clothes on. Or you can just go to a cafe and draw other people. You could ask someone, draw your dog or your cat. Something alive, even a tree. Because because it will move. Even the best life model on the planet will move because they have to breathe. And that just adds something to the whole experience as well, because it's not perfect, so you can't be perfect because the thing is moving. And that's good. Perfect is boring. Okay, my friends, well, thank you. And yeah, if you want to find anything, you know where to go. And or just whatever you've got that you can use. It doesn't have to be my things. You can try and emulate what you can. There are some things you can't, but there are some things you can, of course. And don't ask me to compare my things to this one or that one, because I don't have time to. I don't collect all the art supplies like I used to, all the other brands. I don't need them, so I don't have them. So sometimes I can't compare because I don't know. And of course, I will just say all of my things are better because they're what I use. I'm a very honest person. And if I think they're better, well, it's just the way it really is. What is... Anyway, I'll work it out. I just need to look at it in a mirror or upside down. That always works. Thank you for your birthday wishes and for joining me, and go and do some art. It's always a good idea. Art's never a bad idea, is it? No, it's not. Okay, my friends. Oh, now to say goodbye to you, I have to jump over to this thing and click this button. Bye.